So, yeah, as we continue on, life is good. You know, a lot of times, we as guys, we get our nose into some business that's not our business. You know, like the rap game is really suffering when it comes to creativity, if you ask me. As far as all this dramatic crap about people's, criminal, whatever's going on with them criminally as far as charges, that's not what's on my foremind. What my forethoughts are, how much rap has sucked for the past 10 years. But it doesn't really bother me because I don't care if people make crappy music. I just care if I make crappy music, and I don't make crappy music at all. I don't have time to put a lot of perfectionism into my music. That's why some of it sounds like it's half ass, if I may say. But a lot of it is really good. People send me record deals all the time. I was just looking at some record deals that are like, they started off like 50,000, 100,000, 300,000, millions, up into the millions. And they're all like New York record labels. They want me to sign. I'm like, dude, I'm not signing until after I graduate law school. That's why I've been purposely not paying attention to music with all of my mind, because there's other things that are important, like keeping your friends and family alive whenever you get an opportunity to be successful in any industry. The easy part is for somebody to give you a loan. A record deal is just a loan to me. That's the easy part. The hard part is keeping it, and you can't do that with fake friends, and you can't do that without relying on a reliable source of strength, not income, and that means a security company or some form of bodyguard. And you need more than one if you're up there in the millions. I'm not telling other people what to do, but I'm saying what I do. Now, I'm not a sucker, I don't need a bodyguard, but a security company, that's something I'm not going to do business without. I'm saying, you see American Muscle Security, you see what I do, you see Parent Group Confidential, you see what we do, you see Stackbooks Foundation, you see what you do. If you can't straighten out what we do, that's what the articles of organization and statement of organizer is for. It's not for you to read, it's for certain people to know. If you don't know, you're not certain people, and that's why you don't know. Moving on to other business, I want you to take notice what the athletes are doing. I want you to take notice what the athletes are doing. I want you to take notice what the politicians are doing. I want you to take notice what the politicians are doing. We at B-Boy Politics, what is that? That's my Beats Disciples. What is that? Beats Disciples is my step team. Long time ago, I was like, yo, my steps are getting together. They're improving. When I started boxing in about 2015 in Newcastle, footwork became something that, was at a forefront whenever my coach said, you got to get your footwork down and you gotta be able to move and groove in the ring. It's not all about throwing a punch, it's about dodging a punch. It's about being able to run for a long period of time. It's about the 10th round, not round one, not knocking the person out in the first, second, or third. That never happens. It's about not getting knocked out more than it is knocking somebody out. You worry about all that later. It's about stretching. And that's one area that I lack. Stretch. You always want to do, stretch, or you're going to get a cramp. And that happens to me often. Often I'll just be walking, all of a sudden I'll get a cramp. It's because I don't stretch. all the time, as much as I should. But I want you to pay attention to the athletes because, you know, my step team is Beats Disciples, but Beats Disciples is not just a step team. Like if you watch Step It Up, watch that and you'll understand what Beats Disciples is. It's a website on Reverb, and I just have just beats because I produce and I throw some of my beats on there. But those are beats that are meant for my team to step to. A college student organization online, which one day is going to be, you know, something that is more an online thing. Like you're like, online, what do you mean? I set up my phone on Zoom, or I set it up and I do my dance moves in front of somebody and they do their dance moves and we incorporate it. I practice it with people up here, they practice with people wherever they are, and then whenever we meet up, we have a dance off, like a MC battle, except with body language, when people come from out of town just to visit their friends, and it's a party, kind of like the movie Step It Up, okay? But we also break dance. So Beats Disciples are also break dancers, but when we're on our Zoom meetings, we talk about what the big athletes that are making the big checks, that are getting with the big franchises, that are in the pro leagues, what they're doing, and what we can do like them so that we could be as successful as them, or get down with them and they can help us out be as successful as we can be. That's B-Boy Politics. Sports, drugs, and entertainment. I like the album that Cameron came out with, what he's doing and all that, sports, drugs, and entertainment. I get the idea, what he's talking about, how, you know, people try to limit you to just one lane, sports, drugs, and entertainment, where you could be an engineer just like anybody else, regardless of your color or your gender or your race or your religion or your ethnic group. You could be a doctor, you could be a lawyer, a firefighter, whatever, a business owner, a cop, a politician, whatever you want. You don't have to just be a Clydesdale, a mule. So that's B-Boys Politics. It's like white girl politicking. They talk, you know, about things that, you know, reflect what they're going through. We talk about things that reflect what we're going through, but there's parallels on ways where we could understand what they're going through and have empathy and see how we could be something like a catalyst or a liaison for other people who are going through the struggle. Like you see in the civil rights movement, blacks got their rights at the same time women did. Stay tuned for B-Boy Politics. This is Sports, Drugs, and Entertainment. Donnie Wu.